There are few people in my life that it's like Christmas. Actually, I've been privileged to have a lot of people that I just absolutely adore, but there are few within those people that I adore and that just are just perfect for together, that it feels like Christmas when we're with them. And one of those people is Dr. Bradley Nelson and Jean Nelson, co-author of the books, The Emotion Code. I'll do these one at a time. The Body Code. And now the Heart Code. And I am wearing a heart today because today we're going to be talking about how to unblock your heart. Have you ever wondered if there is a block in your heart that's keeping you from the love you want or feeling connected to people that you really want to be connected to? Well, today is the day because if this is a desire that you've had in your heart, then today's the day because unblocking your heart not only can bring beautiful relationships into your life, but it could also promote healing in a spirit, mind, and body way. And who else? None other than Dr. Bradley Nelson. Dr. Bradley Nelson, like I said, is co-author, creator of The Emotion Code, The Body Code, now the Heart Code. But he goes around the world teaching people how to do this. This is an opportunity for you to learn a new tool. He has practitioners all over the world. And it's been a while since we've had him in the classroom. At least now we get him once a year, and I am just excited about that. And so today we get to explore if there is a heart wall, how to unblock it, and why. And so get out your pencils, get out your papers, because we're going to learn and grow together. It's time to take lots of notes and to dance.
And when you need a friend, you can count on me. I'll be right here waiting for you.
Hi, my name is Lily McDermott, and I am a certified life coach, a certified holistic cancer coach, and the host of the Lily McDermott radio show, Classroom. If this is your first time in the classroom, please know I've been waiting for you. This is a safe place where you can go when you need a friend. It is my commitment to provide natural ways to heal, and it is my mission to make awareness, responsibility, and truth a part of our everyday life. And I hope you, my listening and viewing friend, will feel empowered to embrace a new truth and live the life of your dreams. Well, as I said, today is a treat. It's Christmas morning in my heart because Dr. Bradley Nelson is in the classroom today. He has what I would call a download of God in his heart, and his wife as well. They work together in this ministry that is called the Emotion Code, the Body Code, the Heart Code. And it's such a beautiful way to not just only heal yourself, but I truly believe it could heal the world if just everybody tried this one time in their life. It could literally change the world, not just yourself, but the world. And since it is our sole purpose in life to give and receive love and knowledge, I am so grateful that Dr. Bradley Nelson is here to do just that. Welcome back to the classroom, Dr. Brad.
Oh gosh, thank you, Lily. It's I love you so much. It's so great to be on the show. I wish Jean was here. She's tied up with something else, but it's
Yes.
so great to be here. Thanks for
Well,
having me back.
I tell you what, behind every successful man, there is a wonderful woman, and you are no exception, sir.
No, that's for sure.
Jean is great. I just absolutely adore her. I've loved our time together, and I'm grateful that you're here now talking about the heart code. Why did you but do another book? You are so busy traveling the world, teaching so many. What brought you to creating another book? And then maybe after you share why you started the other book, you can maybe go into what the purpose is for the emotion code, body code, and the heart code.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, when the Emotion Code book first came out, that's this book. When this came out in 2007, there was one chapter in it that talked about the heart wall. And just in a nutshell, what a heart wall is when you feel like your heart is going to break at some point because you're going through a breakup or something bad has happened to somebody you love or to you, whatever. there's a physical sensation involved with that. And and I'll talk about some of the reasons why that happens. But when it happens, and you feel like there's an elephant sitting on your chest, or like you can't breathe because of what's going on, the subconscious mind will put up a wall around your heart. And people will say things like, "Gee, I had to wall off my heart, when I was in that abusive relationship or whatever." And so the subconscious mind will build a wall. Literally, it's a wall made of emotional energy. So it exists on a different dimension than what we can see with our naked eyes. But I mean, if you could actually see what's going on, 9 out of 10 people that you would pass walking down the street, you would see have this armor that's been put up around their heart. And we call it a heart wall. And so when the emotion code first came out in 2007, we knew that eventually we were going to need to write another book to call attention specifically to this phenomenon, because it's so incredibly life changing in so many cases when that wall is taken down. But it isn't something that you know about. People will often say things like, "Yeah, that was a bad situation. I had to put up a wall." And they probably actually did, that they're not consciously aware of. And so that's what the heart wall is. It's a defensive mechanism that exists in the quantum field. Really, it's kind of like it's like electricity. You can't really see it usually, right? But we know it's there. We plug things in. You plug in your toaster, and you don't see the electricity, but it works. And that's kind of how this is. Our bodies are made of pure energy. And in fact, everything is pure energy. Tesla, for example, Nikola Tesla said many years ago, he said, if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And I think he understood that ultimately everything is made of energy, frequency, and vibration. And I think that that's what Albert Einstein was thinking when he said that the medicine of the future will be the medicine of frequencies, because that's really what our bodies are made of. I mean, energy, frequency, and vibration, and everything's made of those things. So when we're feeling an emotion, sometimes we don't want to feel that emotion, so we bury it. Sometimes the emotion's really overwhelming. Sometimes we make the emotion overwhelming. And in any of those cases, that emotional energy can become trapped in the body, and the subconscious mind will use those emotional energies to build a wall. And when that wall is put up, and again, 9 out of 10 people have this wall, and so we're living we're living on a very dysfunctional
Mm-hmm.
planet, because the vast majority of people have walled off their heart. And so it's much more difficult for them to really feel. It's much more difficult for them to feel positive emotions, much easier to feel negative emotions, because that vibrational scale of the heart, which is really the core of our being, that's what the ancients believed about the heart, that the heart was the seat of the soul, source of love and creativity and romance and so on. In fact, in the Heart Code book, we go into detail about what the ancient societies believed about the heart. It's really interesting. They believed the heart was all those things, that it was the core of our being, right? And in the West, we've never really given, much. We haven't paid much attention to those
Yeah.
old ancient ideas that go back in every culture, time out of mind. But instead, we've just looked at the heart as a mechanism, right? As a machine. It's just a muscle. That's all it is. It just pumps blood. But it was a long time ago they discovered that the heart has a little brain within it, right? That they call the little brain in the heart. It's 40,000 roughly neurites in the heart, gray matter and white matter in the heart. And when scientists looked at the communications between the brain in the heart and the brain that is in the head, they found that the vast majority of those communications are not traveling from the brain to the heart, which is what they expected. In fact, it was just the opposite. The vast majority of those communications were going from the brain in the heart to the brain in our heads. indicating that the brains that are in our heads are obeying the messages being sent by the brain that is in our hearts. So it's really crazy. But anyway, I believe that the heart is really everything the ancients believed it to be. And there are so many stories. In fact, we've got a whole bunch of new stories in the Heart Code book about heart transplants and how when people get a heart transplant, weird things start to happen. For example, a friend of ours, big, tall, very strong, masculine guy, got a heart transplant and he got a woman's heart. And he found that when he got out of the hospital, his car would kind of automatically pull into Starbucks and he'd find himself at the counter ordering a hazelnut latte. And it was weird, because he never went there before. And he also couldn't pass an ice cream place.
Wow.
Be driving with his wife and he'd say, "Oh my gosh, we have to stop and get ice cream." So they'd pull in. And then he found out later, and that's typically how these stories go, that the woman whose heart he received, hazelnut latte was her drink. She got it every
Wow.
day and just loved ice cream. And so, there's so many stories about this kind of thing. But everything the ancients believed about the heart, I believe, was absolutely right. That
Yeah.
it's the heart's the seat of the soul, the core of our being, and all those things. And because we are divine in nature, see, we have kind of ignored these ideas, but now we're beginning to realize, hey, the body itself
Yeah.
really truly is a temple, and
Yeah.
that heart that's in our core is really the core of who we are. So it's fun stuff.
No, and you know what? I love the examples that you give and the stories. I thought you were going to say that he became a poor driver when he got a lady's heart. So I was going to get you on that one. I'm glad that didn't happen. I'm glad it was
They
just the
didn't they
latte.
didn't talk about that, Lily, so I don't know.
Well, I'm glad that you didn't. But what I'm saying is, I mean, there's so many different ways that we can build those walls. And I don't know if I've ever shared this with you, but when I was a child, it was very painful. I cried a lot. And I didn't realize until I became an adult, until way into my 40s and yeah, well into my 40s when I started doing personal growth, that I was empathic. And as a child, I would feel people's pain. I mean, why couldn't I feel their joy? I would feel their pain.
Yeah.
And I ended up numbing myself.
Hmm.
Because it was, I couldn't understand that emotion. And
Yeah.
so there's a lot of children, and now when I see children crying a lot or that they're emotional, I always think, I wonder who they're feeling. And I remember going back because my daughter was like that as well. And I'm like, yeah, just whatever, it was too late for me, but now with my grandchildren and moving forward, maybe they're feeling other people and we don't even think of that as parents other than they're just crying a lot. But can it be that these heart walls are also experienced when you're a child because of feeling what other people are feeling? Is that possible? Or even the words that we
Well,
use, like "I'm so brokenhearted," "I'll never trust again," and those things can add to it. I don't know. Go ahead and share.
yeah, absolutely. In fact, a story comes to mind
Hmm.
that I may have shared at one point or another on your show, but this is a perfect example of this. There was a 9-year-old boy that was brought in. His mom brought him in to see us, and she told us the story. She said that what had happened was she started noticing that there was something going on with her son because uh, she'd go into his room at night when he should be in bed and he'd be on the floor. And she'd say, "What are you doing on the floor?" And he would say, "I don't deserve to be in a bed." And she thought, that's weird. Why would he say that? And and then he wouldn't hand in his homework if he did it, or he wouldn't do it. So school wasn't going well. She paid a surprise visit to his classroom one day, only to find his teacher in the middle of berating him for being pathetic because she couldn't get any work out of him. The weird thing about this little boy was that he kind of had a grin that was just pasted on all the time, right? And so that was kind of odd too. So she took him home and tried to do homeschool with him. That wasn't working. So she finally ended up taking him to see a psychiatrist and a psychologist. And he was diagnosed as being clinically depressed. I mean, severely depressed at only age 9. And that's why we eventually figured out he knew he was supposed to be happy, but he was so unhappy. But he knew he was supposed to be happy. So he had this kind of smile pasted on, right? And so, anyway, so his mom brought him in to see us, and Gene and I checked him and found that he had put up this wall around his heart. And so there were, I think, three or four emotions making up this wall. And we started releasing these using the emotion code, which, the heart code is a subset of that. And every one of these emotions, each one had to do with some tragic thing that had happened in their family. We got to the very last emotion that was making up this wall. And here's the story. And here's why I'm telling you this, because it reminded me of what you just asked. Um, he was 5 years old at the time. And he was with his family. They were at a lake in California where they lived. And it was a family reunion. And his big sister was the designated babysitter. She was watching him. And this other little boy, his best little friend, that was also 5 years old, it was a cousin. And the three of them were out on this dock at this lake. And there was no adult supervision around. And the 12-year-old sister was trying to teach this little cousin of theirs how to swim. And his body disappeared underneath the dock. And they couldn't find him. And about 45 minutes later, I guess the divers pulled his body out from under the dock. And of course, he was long dead and his body was just blue. And the crushing weight of guilt that his sister was feeling for having this horrific thing happen on her watch, that frequency, that energy of that emotion, that vibration became absorbed into his body and immediately formed into a wall around his heart because his heart was breaking for her, but also because he just lost his little best friend that was dead.
Yeah.
And it was just such a horrific experience. So that emotion was the one that started his heart wall. So we released that emotion and his mom took him home. There was no more heart wall. And for the next couple of days, he was just kind of lying around being lethargic. And she was thinking, well, doesn't look like that really worked. But he was just processing the release of all that trauma.
Mhm.
And on the morning of the third day after we worked on him, he got himself up early, got himself ready to go to school with his backpack and his lunchbox. He came downstairs and he said, Mom, I can go back to school now. I'm a happy pappy. And he never had any more trouble. All his learning disabilities were gone. And he went into the program for advanced kids because he was doing so well. And he's about 36 years old now.
Wow.
And the last I knew, I think he had two kids. He's probably got 10 by now. Who knows? But anyway, so his mom told us that if she hadn't been open to something so unusual and so different, that he would not have survived because he was
Yeah.
so depressed and he was only 9 years old. So, that took us half an hour to work on him and change his life. And that's just one story out of thousands. The hardest thing about writing this book was actually deciding out of 10,000 stories people had submitted, which ones were going to go in here.
Yeah.
And stories about animals and financial success and finding love and healing and all kinds of things. So
Great story. It's a great book for everybody to get. I am excited about talking about this book. And for those of you who are followers of the classroom, know that you can always watch the past show with Dr. Bradley Nelson. You could just have to search his name on my pages, and you can also find him in my past shows. So we've done classes on the body code, the emotion code, now the heart. We actually have done classes on the heart wall in the past, but this was now announcing that you can also get the book, the heart code. And so, when I think about that story, because I read the story, and when I think about all the children now today that are antidepressants,
Oh,
ADHD
yeah.
medication, all these different things, had I known what I know now, I would have addressed this totally different with my children, with myself, because what I heard growing up was, don't cry, Lily, don't cry. Oh, there she goes again. She's crying. Or my siblings would make fun of me because I was very emotional. And so I learned I didn't like being pointed out because I was very, very shy. And so I started closing up. But I didn't realize it because you don't know what you don't know. I
Yeah.
did not know. And what was so sad about this whole thing, and I'm so grateful that you do have because everything, the emotion code, the heart code, all of that is part of the body code. But when you're looking at something in specifically, what can happen to somebody that has a block? Let's just give like symptoms of someone who could possibly have a blocked wall, a heart wall,
Heart wall.
and is not even aware because it is life.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, we're built to survive, right? And we we enter into this world, I think, with great expectations and with a pretty clear, clean energy field.
Hmm.
But then things start going wrong. Maybe we're born into a family where our parents are going to end up getting divorced. And so they're
Hmm.
arguing all the time. Or maybe we have an abusive babysitter, or maybe we are bullied at school. There's just so many things that happen to us as we go through life, and tragic things happen too. I mean, somebody once said the first thing you need to realize about life is that it's not supposed to be easy. This is our school, right, where we get to learn for ourselves about consequences, right? We make choices and we can choose those, but we can't choose the consequences. And so, a lot of the time, the consequences that we experience from choices that are made are from our own choices, and sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, but sometimes the things that happen to us that we end up suffering for are the result of choices that were made by other people, right? And so, anyway, what happens is we end up developing all of this emotional baggage, and and then as we go through life, what happens is that emotional baggage changes our personalities, and so we become more closed off and less willing to step out. We become closed off to relationships sometimes. We become closed off to success and our ability to really manifest that perfect blueprint that is who we each individually are, that lies within the heart of each one of us, that gets closed off when you have a heart wall. And so imagine, think about this, the world that we live in, we find that about 93% of people in this world have put up a wall. They have no idea that it's even there, but they do wonder why life doesn't work better for them, why
Hmm.
they struggle so much, maybe with relationships or with money, why their neck bothers them all the time, or why their traps are constantly tight and sore, right? Why they Some people live with chest pain, or heaviness in here for years and for decades, right? And those are some of the physical things that it causes.
Mm.
But let me tell you something else. People don't realize this, but I'll tell you something that is, I think, really profound about the heart wall. When I was in practice, especially during about the last 10 years of my practice, most of the people that I worked on had been told that there was really no hope for them in Western medicine at all. And so they were coming to me as a last resort. And these are people who, for the most part, were really quite desperately sick and were suffering from pain all over the body, fibromyalgia, extreme fatigue. I mean, I saw people who literally slept all day, like almost 24 hours a day, because their fatigue was so extreme, and and other things as well, all kinds of problems. I saw the full range of human issues pretty much. But what I found with those people is I would always test these people. I did an initial examination with them, right? And I would test all the organs and all the glands. And with these people that were so sick, it was not unusual at all to find all the glands and all the organs in the body to be out of balance. And I would find that the communication between the brain and the organs and the glands and the tissues would be really diminished, and that their immune systems would be very low, right, as far as function, often in single digits.
Wow.
And with these people, not to mention, a lot of meridians out of balance and chakras and so on. Oftentimes, what I would do with these people, just to prove to myself how powerful the heart wall was, after my initial exam with these people, finding so many things wrong, I would just do one thing. I would just clear the wall that they had put up around their heart. which usually took, maybe 2 or 3 separate sessions. And then immediately I would re-examine these people and recheck everything that was imbalanced before. And Lily, inevitably I would find that 80% of all those organs and
Mhm.
glands and chakras and meridians were all balanced again. Think about
Wow.
that. Just one
Yeah.
thing, so powerful. And we'd see their immune function, increase dramatically. I was usually able to increase a person's immune function into the 80 or 90% range within about 3 weeks. And that's a great indicator of how powerful this is. Um, so it's something that should be done to everybody.
Yeah.
And if you're dealing with any kind of sickness at all, the first place to look, I believe, really is the heart, because it's communicating with every cell, with every beat, right?
Mhm.
So anyway,
I
yeah,
I really do. I think that before I met you and before I started in this journey, because I truly believe that the classroom has saved my life. I would have been on pharmaceutical drugs and treating symptoms as opposed to finding the root cause. And that's what I love about, the emotion code, the body code, the heart code, is that it really starts within. We have the power to heal. God gave us the power to heal, but how? And many of us aren't equipped with the how. And so, how wonderful that you have these tools for us. And I know that Jean was a huge motivator for this, for really looking at the heart wall. I want to honor her today as well, because all of us, we know something is off. We just don't know what. For
yeah,
me, it was that little hole that I had in my soul. And when I would keep so busy because I would not hear that little breeze that would come through that little hole. But then as our son Blake, which I believe you met, I believe you met Blake last time you were here. What happened to me was once he graduated from high school, and I wasn't so busy being a mom, and I wasn't so busy with all the different things that I was doing, plus the housing crisis, plus all these different things. When I was by myself, it was a breeze that was going through that hole. I could no longer ignore it. So I want to challenge all of you that are out there. If there is something like that, there's something that you just don't know, can't put your finger on it, and the doctors are trying to prescribe medication, and that's not helping either. Then maybe it's time to examine your heart. And we're going to have an opportunity in a little bit to experience it with Joanna, who has volunteered today to be our example, the person who's the courage to do this so that you can see how simple it is, because it's really you speaking to the subconscious mind. And I love the fact that the emotional aspect that keeps us from experiencing this modality doesn't even get involved. So I'm going to talk to you in a little bit about this, but for now, I want to, just share about the classroom. If you are interested in learning more, we've got a ton of classes with Dr. Bradley Nelson. I think the next one we should have both Dr. Brad and Dr. Jean to come in the classroom so that both of them can share their story in their own perspective, because each one of us tells our story with our perspective. But how wonderful would it be? How wonderful would our perspective be if that heart wall wasn't covering your eyes to see things in a different way? So I want to encourage you to go to whenyouneedafriend.com. While you're there, please subscribe to the website. It's a two-step process. So when you subscribe in the website, you're going to get an email that's going to be sent to you. If it doesn't come to you right away, please check your spam. Then opt in, and once you opt in, you will have access to our audios for each new class that we publish. You will have the blog letting you know who's going to be in the classroom. If you are a subscriber, you already have all of Dr. Brad's information. All you have to do is click his name and it'll take you right there. So please subscribe, and not only to the website, but also to BitChute and Facebook and YouTube and X and all these places, even the podcast. Please subscribe to the podcast. I love you guys in the podcast world. You like to listen, and I love the fact that that you are listening out there. So please just share it with your friends. Tell everybody that the classroom is here to help us grow, to learn and grow. And so then you can also go to my Shop Now page. And when you go to my Shop Now page, there are all Lily approved products from head to toe. These are some of the products that when you purchase it's like a little affiliate fee that we get from it, and that helps the classroom grow. So if you want to donate to the classroom, but you want something for it, go check out all the stuff that's in my Shop Now bag. We've got so many different webinars, workshops that we've done that you can purchase, do it yourself type of thing. And so there's a lot of ways that we can grow together. Another thing that you can do before you go, not only did I say to please share this video with all your friends, but also consider becoming an enrolled student in the classroom, whether it's $1 or $1,000 a month or a one-time donation. Then please make sure that you donate. But just like I said, you can share, giving your time, your treasure, or your talent to the classroom. So today in the classroom, we are talking with Dr. Bradley Nelson. And Dr. Bradley Nelson has been a wonderful friend of the classroom. He's been a friend of Robert and I. We've shared lots of fun times together. I've enjoyed their family, and it's been just absolutely beautiful. So today we're going to give you a little taste of what it would be like if you were to try this healing modality. So we're going to, in a minute, just bring Joanna out. But Dr. Brad, if you want to share, if anybody wants to find you, and you could be anywhere in the world right now, but you chose to be here with us today. So thank you so much for that. For those of you who would like to learn more about Dr. Bradley Nelson and Jean, you can go to discoverhealing.com. That's a wonderful place that you can go if you want to learn and grow and heal as well. Do you have any events coming up anytime soon?
Well, yeah. Let's see here. We've got we have a number of different events going on. We've got events going on a regular basis in Europe, and we've got some other events happening in the U.S. We have a couple of live certifications coming
Yep.
up for the let's see, the body code and the belief code. The best thing to do is go to discoverhealing.com/events, and
Yep.
then you can see all of those.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so now we are going to experience a little bit about what we've been talking about. And if you're also interested in other past classes so that you can listen to different ways that you can learn about the body code, the emotion code, the belief code, and the heart code, that's a good place to go, and discoverhealing.com. So thank you, Joanna, for being a part of today's class. Before we go into all of this, I want to let you know that Dr. Brad is giving away 3 of the heart codes. Yay! So you can either text me, there you go. Text me at 407-373-5959. And Clay, we're going to put this in the winner's basket a week from today. We're going to draw names, 3 names. So if you're listening on podcast, you too can text me at 407-373-5959, or you can email me at lily@whenyouneedafriend.com. Just make sure that you are from the United States, because I don't know, this offers for the United States people only, right, Dr. Brad? Or
Uh, yeah, I think probably that's, yeah.
okay, yeah. Okay, so for those of you, do it right away. Get your name in the winner's basket. A week from today, I will draw the 3 names, and I know that Joanna is going to be in there. Thank you, Joanna, for being part of the classroom today. Yay! Are you excited?
Thank you so much for having me. Yes, I'm very excited to be doing this.
Yes. Well, okay. So I'm going to step out and I'll let you do
Okay.
your thing. Here we go.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you, Lily and Joanna. It's great to meet you.
Great to meet you too, Dr. Nelson.
All right, I think we're kind of on opposite ends of the country, right? I'm in the southwestern corner of Utah, a couple of hours north of Las Vegas, and you're in New Jersey?
I'm in New Jersey at the moment.
Okay, great. Well, one of the beautiful things about energy work is that it's not bound by distance, right? In any way. And that's a wonderful thing. Our our uh, our readers and our followers learn in the emotion code, body code, the heart code book that they can work on other friends, family members, and other people at any distance. And so we've got practitioners in India that have clients in Singapore, and we've got practitioners in Germany that work on people, in China. And so it doesn't matter. You don't have to be there. So because I'm here and you're there, I'm going to explain just a little bit about how this works. Okay. In quantum physics, first of all, again, come back to the idea that everything is just energy, right? And I mean, if you magnify your hand under a big microscope and you keep zooming in, pretty soon you're looking at a cell. Keep zooming in, you're looking at a molecule. Keep zooming in, you're looking at an atom. You zoom into the atom and you see there's really nothing in there. And the next atom is a long distance away, and there's nothing there but energy and vibration and frequency, just like Tesla said, right? So anyway, uh, quantum physics is very interesting. And one of the ideas in quantum physics is that energies can become entangled at vast distances, even interstellar distances, and they will essentially be bound together. So, what we can do is we can temporarily connect our energies, and we call this entanglement, like in quantum physics. In the books, we refer to it as acting by proxy. So, the human body has this amazing ability to set aside its own needs to act on behalf of somebody else. And so that's what we're going to do with you right now. Now, all of this work, emotion code, body code, the heart code, belief code, which is our third level of certification, we believe have really all come from up above. And so before we work on somebody, we like to take a moment and just try to connect with that higher power and open up that conduit so that the angels can come and be with us and help us, to know what questions to ask and so on. So give me just a moment here, and feel free to join me if you'd like. And we'll just silently ask for some help. All right, cool. Okay, so let's see here, Joanna. I'm going to be using a method of muscle testing that we teach in these books, and we call it the ring in, ring method. So I'm going to make two rings, right? One ring in the other forms a chain, and I'm going to start asking some questions. And those questions I'm directing to your subconscious mind. And the first question that I want to have an answer to is, are we connected energetically? In other words, are my energies entangled with yours so that I can ask questions and get answers on my own body on your behalf? And the answer there is yes. Okay, so the connection is made. And so what you'll notice, and I'll exaggerate the movements here so that when I'm getting a yes answer, the rings will stay together. And when I'm getting a no answer, my body will weaken just a little bit and you'll see the rings break apart. Okay. And so that's how you'll see a yes and a no answer. Okay. So let's ask this first question. Okay. And the question is, do you have a heart wall? Yes or no? And I get a yes. So then the next question is, can we release an emotion from your heart wall? Remember, the heart wall is invisible and it's made of layers of emotional energy. And the picture that always comes into my mind when I'm explaining this is the jawbreaker candies, Did you ever have one of those when you were a kid? It's like a
Oh
big
yeah.
round hard candy. Remember those? Suck on it for a
Hmm.
while, you take it out, you have no idea what color it's going to be. Full of artificial dyes and things, but anyway. All right. So, and that's how the heart wall is. It's made of different layers. So, can we release a trapped emotion from your heart wall now? And the answer is yes. Okay. So now what we do is we have this chart of emotions. Okay. And you can just Google emotion code chart. You'll find this. There's lots of them out there. And it's divided up. There are 60 emotions in the chart. It's divided up into 2 columns and 6 rows. Yeah, there we go. And so what we're going to do is we're going to ask if we can release a trapped emotion from your heart wall now. We get a yes answer. So now we go to the chart. And this first emotion that your subconscious mind has for us, is it in column A? No. So that means it's got to be in column B. So we just eliminated half the chart, right? We know it's in column B. And see, now understand, I have no idea what this first emotion is. No idea. And consciously, you don't have an idea either. But your subconscious mind, this internal divine computer within you that is really who you are, your true essence, it knows exactly what this emotion is, when it was created, who was involved, everything about it, all the details. So this emotion is in column B. So let's divide column B into two parts. We'll ask, is this emotion in one of the odd rows in column B? Yes. Is it in row one, column B? Yep, row one, column B. So we've narrowed it down to 5 emotions. So it's either effort unreceived or heartache, insecurity, overjoy, or vulnerability. What is it? Is it effort unreceived? Nope. Is it heartache? Is that what it is? No. Um, is it insecurity or overjoy or vulnerability? Okay, so it's actually not any of those. So, so don't worry. When you're taken to a column and a row, to a single cell, if you can't identify the emotion at that point, it means that the subconscious mind has taken you as far as it can take you without you determining that this is actually a special kind of emotion. It was an emotion inherited at conception from mom or dad. So is this an inherited emotion? Yes, it is. All right, so here we go. Is it inherited effort unreceived? No. Is it inherited heartache? It sure is. Inherited heartache. So when you were conceived, you got this energy from somebody. Did you get it from your dad? No, you got it from your mom. So inherited heartache. Okay, so let's see here. Let me see. Okay, I'm just going to make some notes here. And all right. So let's see here. All right, how far does this go back? Does this go back 5 generations from you or 10 generations from you? Does it go back further? 15, 14, 13. This goes back about 13 generations from you, or
Wow.
back to about 1683, give or take 20 or 30 years either side of that. And did this originate with a female or a male? Started with a grandfather of yours. Okay. All right. So, interesting. So, so that grandfather apparently, had a lot of heartache, or a really big heartache that he went through. Scientists now know that this happens, right? They've actually documented changes in the DNA. They did a study, and I can't remember where it was now. I don't have it in front of me, but they did a study on grandmothers that had experienced trauma and found changes in the DNA at specific locations in women that had actually received the trauma. And then those changes, of course, the DNA gets duplicated and it's passed down. And so we may actually just end up changing your DNA a little bit here. Let's ask, is there anything else we need to know about this? Not really. So what I'm going to do is just take a hand, okay? And you can use a magnet or your hand, and I'm just going to release this energy by passing my hand over this governing meridian in the body. And we'll do that 10 times. Maybe 11 there. And let's ask now, did we release that inherited trapped emotion of heartache from you? Yes. And did it release from all those ancestors? Yes. Okay, cool. All right. Do you have any kids, Joanna?
No.
Okay. If you did, we could ask if you had passed this to them. But in any event, now, if you do have kids, you won't be passing this because we've released it. Did it release from you and all those ancestors? It sure did. And this was part of your heart wall, a feeling of heartache, right? That was actually, gosh, hundreds of years old, right? This is the reality. So in other words, we come into birth and we come into conception, and these energies are kind of with us. And then we end up, they change our personalities because, we've got these, it's like we're carrying these weights that are certain colors, there's certain frequencies, certain emotional feelings that are just kind of background for us because they've been coming down our line like a freight train, sometimes for hundreds of years, like this one. So what would this do to you, this emotion of heartache? Well, it would tend to make you feel that emotion more easily than you otherwise would because part of your body's vibrating. I mean, your heart is actually surrounded with a boundary layer of that feeling, that vibration. So it would tend to make you feel that more easily. But the other thing that's really interesting about this is having that frequency in your field all the time would tend to bring things about in your life that would tend to create that for you. And it would also tend to attract people into your life that might tend to create that for you. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
That makes so much sense, and it's really interesting because I'm a very emotional person when it comes to heartaches.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there you go. Uh, Probably you'll be less that way now because we've released that. So that was one layer of your emotion code. So, all right, let's see if there is another layer of of your heart wall. And let's ask, is there another layer to your heart wall and can we release it? Yeah, there's another one. So let's go back to the chart and we'll ask, is this emotion in column A? Nope, this one's also in column B. Is it in one of the odd rows in column B? Yes. Is it in row one? No. Is it in row three? No. Row five? Row five. So those emotions are depression. Let's see. Conflict, creative insecurity, terror, unsupported, or wishy washy. Let's see what that is. Is this emotion conflict? Is it creative insecurity or terror or unsupported or wishy-washy? Okay, this one is also inherited. Remember when we're taken to a column in a row, you can't find the emotion, ask, is this inherited? And it is. So is this emotion conflict, inherited conflict, or inherited creative insecurity or terror? This is actually an inherited emotion of terror. Okay. So that's scary. So when you were conceived, did you get this from your mom or from your dad? You got it from your dad. Did he get it from somebody earlier? Yes, from mom, from his dad. Okay, so father got it from father. And does it go back any further? Yes. How many generations from you? Does it go back 5 generations? Yes. 10 generations? Yes. 15? No. 14, 13, 12, 11 goes back 11 generations, or roughly back to about 1735 AD. And did this begin with a female? No, it started with a grandfather. So it's kind of in your father's line. And let's see. Let's release that. Yes. Okay. Let's release it. So here we go. Okay. Did we release that emotional energy from you? Did it clear from your dad and all those generations all the way back? Yeah. So that's one of the really fun things about this when we release an inherited emotion. We're not just working on you, we're working on the whole family line. And anybody, I mean, think about this. How many people do you think could trace their lineage back to this grandfather 11 generations ago? I mean, maybe
That's
thousands,
incredible.
maybe tens of thousands of people. They all have, or many of them, not all of them, but many of them have this same emotion, in this case of terror. And we just released it from the whole line, right? So we could even ask, because your subconscious mind absolutely is divine in origin and it knows it's connected, with the higher power and so on. How many people did we just release this from, this emotion of terror? Did it release from 1,000 people? Yeah. 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000? No. 6,000, 7,000. So between 6 and 7,000 people. Is that true? Yeah. More than 6,500? No. More than 6,300, 64. So 6,300 and something, or we could figure it out exactly if we wanted to, because your subconscious mind knows. So, all right, cool. So let's ask, do you still have a heart wall? Yes or no? Yeah. Well, all right. Let's do another one. So is this emotion in column A? Yeah. Is it in one of the odd rows? Yes. Is it in row one? No. Row three? Row three, which is crying, discouragement, rejection, sadness, or sorrow. So is the emotion crying? No. Is it discouragement? No. Is it rejection? Yeah. This one is rejection. Okay. Okay, so do we need to know more about this? And the answer is yes. So in the emotion code and the heart code, which is just a subset of the emotion code, we always ask if we need to know more about an emotion. Because sometimes in order to close the loop and finally, resolve an emotion that's kind of been stuck, uh, the subconscious mind will sometimes want us to dig deeper and bring more to conscious awareness about whatever this was. like maybe, and typically, all we'll need usually is the age. Okay. So this is rejection. And do you mind if I ask your age right now?
41.
41. Okay, let's see here. When did this happen? Did this happen earlier than age 20? No, between 20 and 30. Okay, 20 to 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. I'd say around age 30. You might have been chronologically 29, maybe 31, but you know, so it was roughly 10 years ago, maybe give or take a little bit. Um, So we'll say 30-ish. Okay. Does that ring a bell? Anything come to mind?
I mean, I was in a relationship with my now ex-husband.
Okay. You're now ex-husband?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, it could have been about that. We can ask. Let's ask, do we need to know anything else about this? Not really. So a lot of the time the subconscious mind will just need an age. So it kind of helps narrow it down, and then it'll be like, you can go ahead and release this. And that's what I'm getting right now. So let's release this one. One, two, just 3 swipes over the governing meridian to release this energy. We release that energy from you. Yes. Okay, cool. So let's ask, do you still have a heart wall? Yes or no? Actually, no. So however much work you did before on your heart wall probably helped to prepare, you to get to this point where you just had a few emotions left, but that cleared your heart wall. So, so now let me ask you something else, since we're kind of demonstrating this. Um, when we started, did you have any kind of physical discomfort of any kind going on in the body?
No, because I've been doing a lot of emotion code work previously. I
Okay.
did carry a lot of pain in my lower back and sometimes in my neck.
Okay.
Um, and it comes and goes.
Okay. But that's been better
It's
since you've
been a
been
lot
doing
better
the work.
since I've been doing emotion code
Okay.
healing.
All right. Awesome. So close your eyes for a minute. Take a deep breath. And now just tune into your being and and kind of just get in touch with how you're feeling right now and how it feels to have that heart wall removed.
How do you feel, Joanna?
So I feel lighter, but I do feel like I still have a heart wall.
Uh-huh. Well, let's check and ask, do you still do you still have a heart wall? Yes or no? I'm not getting anything on that. But what you might be picking up, it's possible that there could be something else that we need to do. So that's fine. Let's check and see. Sometimes what can happen is, well, let's just ask, is there something else going on with you that we need to correct? Yes. Okay. So is there a trapped emotion we need to release? Yes. All right. So let me show you how this works. First of all, it's the same process, right? Is the emotion in column A? It is. Is it in one of the odd rows in column A? No. So it's in row 2. Row 4. There's an emotion in row 4, which is anger, bitterness, guilt, hatred, or resentment. Okay. Is the emotion anger? Is it bitterness, guilt, or hatred, or resentment? So there's an emotion of resentment there somewhere in the body. Now, we're not specifically asking about the heart, but where is this emotion? Remember that an emotional energy is kind of like a ball, might be the size of a baseball, like the size of a softball or a small melon. Where is this? Is it on the right side of your body or the left or in the midline? Is it in the heart area? Yeah. So in other words, there's another emotional energy there. Okay. But it's not part of your heart wall. So let's just see. Let's see if we can't clear this out. Okay. It's an emotion of resentment. Do we need to know more about it? Yes, we do. All right. So let's see here. You're 41. Is this from earlier than age 20, between 20 and 30? So it's 30, between 30 and 40, between 30 and 35, around 36 or 37. So around age 37. So, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, resentment. Okay, so let me make a note of that. Okay.
As,
Does that
as a
ring any kind
reminder,
of a bell?
as a reminder, we're short of time, so if we can.
Oh, okay, sure. Resentment. Okay. And that was roughly 10 years ago. Does that ring a bell at all? Anything come to
Yeah.
mind? All right, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we need to know anything else about that? No, not really. So let's release that one. All right. And do we clear that? Yes, we did. All right. So is there anything else going on with the heart that we need to release? No. Okay. So no. But now what I want you to do is take a deep breath. Just kind of breathe in through your heart. Let it out. And let's see how that feels now. Just tune in and let's see how that feels. Because you had a heart wall, yes, but then beyond the heart wall, there was that other energy that was sitting right on your heart, and that was the resentment, but it wasn't part of the heart wall. So isn't that interesting that you can have not all the energies in that heart area will be the heart wall sometimes. Sometimes it can be something else just sitting right there that's, you know, yeah.
Can I just like give my feedback?
Yeah,
I
please.
don't know if Lily told you anything about
Nope.
me prior to this call,
Nope.
but I was
Mm-mm.
diagnosed with breast cancer over my heart. And when I, done some work on this, it was in my left breast, so it related to a
Okay.
female. And around
Mm-hmm.
the time that you mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
going back around 5-ish years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like this all is just reinforcing of what was the root cause of maybe why I had this happen to me.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
I,
it's,
I didn't
it's
share
just
anything. I did not
makes
share
perfect
anything,
sense.
Joanna. Yeah.
No, I don't know anything about anything, but
Yeah.
it's been really fun to work on you a little bit.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. I
How
really
you,
appreciate this.
isn't this great? Isn't it
It's
great?
amazing. I mean, I
Thank,
am a firm believer. I even told my oncologist I'm buying her the book because she needs to know about this.
yeah. Well, I tell you what, this has been wonderful. I am so grateful to you, Dr. Brad, for being here today, and also Joanna for being our example, our teacher for today,
Yeah.
and being able to receive this gift that is the body code, the emotion code, and the heart code. So thank you so much. And remember, we have 3 books to give away. So don't be shy. Go to lily@whenyounneedafriend.com or go to 407-373-5959. Text me, let me know you want your name in the winner's basket. And a week from today, you could potentially have a book being sent to you. So thank you so much, all of you. And thank you for taking an opportunity to expand your heart today and live the best life. And please remember, we'll be right here waiting for you worldwide at whenyounneedafriend.com. This
Okay.
is Lily McDermott, Dr. Bradley Nelson, and Joanna wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. Make it the best day
Best day.
Ever!
ever. Good job.
The opinions and advice expressed on the Lillian McDermott radio show are intended for the individual callers and guests on the program and are presented to our wider audience solely for general educational purposes. Please act responsibly and consult personally with your own medical, psychological, or nutritional expert before taking any steps to improve your life.